Today, we are going to take a look at the Boxster, a car that saved Porsche from bankruptcy. When you take a look at Porsche today, you see a very successful company that sells a lot of cars and makes a lot of money. But it wasn't always that way. In the early 90s, Porsche was on the verge of bankruptcy. The sales were incredibly low. Porsche sold only about 14,000 units in 1993. That is very low compared to sales of over 50,000 units in 1986. Porsche needed to get the sales high again and also make their cars cheaper to produce. The new car had to replace the aging 924, 944 and 968 Porsche models and be the new affordable Porsche for the masses. At the same time, Mazda was having a huge success with their newly introduced MX-5, so Porsche decided to make one of their own, but with the engine in the middle rather than in the front. When Porsche decided that Roadster was the way to go, they also needed to find an efficient way to build it, and who builds cars more efficient and cheaper than Japanese? So, in 1992, Porsche turned to former Toyota engineers to help with organizing the production. They learned that they need to build only what's needed and when it's needed, resulting in lower cost and better productivity. It also meant that Porsche would start sharing parts between their models. So the Boxster was born. The Boxster name is a conjunction of Boxer, the engine configuration, and Roadster, meaning two-seat convertible. The concept was finished in 1993 and it looked like a smaller version of the 996 911, maybe a bit too much like the 911. The Boxster shared the same headlights, interior, and engine architecture as the 996. Many people think it was not the prettiest era of Porsche cars. The first generation Boxster came to production in 1996, equipped with a flat-six engine with 201 horsepower. It was the first new Porsche model in 18 years, only the sixth in the entire Porsche history. You could get it with a 5-speed manual transmission, but an automatic was also an option. In the year 2000, the base model got more power and sportier version called Boxster S was introduced. It had 250 horsepower and wheels from 911. The Boxster was a success. By 2003, Porsche sold more than 120,000 Boxsters and got multiple awards worldwide. But the competition in the luxury roadster segment rose, with the main competition being the BMW Z3 and Mercedes-Benz SLK. So, the second generation, designated the 987, went for sale in 2005. It borrowed some lines from the Carrera GT. The base model was bumped up to 240 horsepower and was the first car to use Porsche's active suspension management. A year later, and Porsche introduced the Cayman S, a hardtop version of the Boxster. In 2009, Porsche had to increase power, since the competition such as Nissan 350Z delivered more than 300 horsepower for a lot less money. Porsche increased the power on the base Boxster and on the Boxster S to 255 and 310 horsepower. A PDK dual-clutch transmission also became available. Porsche basically pushed the 987's platform to its limits, and a new generation was the next step. The third generation, known as the 981, started sale in 2012. It got bigger, more powerful and lighter, equipped with for Porsche traditional flat-six engine. New versions were introduced, the GTS and Cayman GT4, a track-focused version of the Cayman with a detuned engine from a 911. In 2016, a new generation came again, this time called the 718. Unfortunately, the flat 6 was replaced with a turbocharged 4 instead. That upset many enthusiasts and was very controversial. Nonetheless, the new 4 cylinders have more power and are faster, and if you really want to have a natural aspirated 6 cylinder, the GTS 4.0, Boxster Spider and Cayman GT4 still have it. The Boxster today is something completely different than what it used to be. It was made to save Porsche from bankruptcy, and it did. It was one of the best-selling Porsche models ever. Of course, until the Cayenne came out and far surpassed sales of any Porsche ever before. And so that's the summary of the history of Porsche Boxster. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time.